A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark, chapter 7, verses 1 to 8, 14 to 15, and 21 to 23. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. The Pharisees, along with some religion scholars who had come from Jerusalem, gathered around him. They noticed that some of his disciples weren't being careful with ritual washings before meals. The Pharisees, Jews in general, in fact, would never eat a meal without going through the motions of a ritual hand washing, with an especially vigorous scrubbing if they had just come from the market. To say nothing of the scorings they would give jugs and pots and pans. The Pharisees and religion scholars asked, "Why do your disciples brush off the rules, showing up at meals without washing their hands?" Jesus answered, "Isaiah was right about fraud like you. Hit the bull's eye, in fact. These people make a big show of saying the right thing, but their heart isn't in it. They act like they are worshiping me, but they don't mean it. They just use me as a cover for teaching whatever suits their fancy, ditching God's command and taking up the latest farts." Jesus called the crowd together again and said, "Listen now, all of you. Take this to heart. It's not what you swallow that pollutes your life. It's what you vomit. That's the real pollution." He went on, "It's what comes out of a person that pollutes. Obscenities, lusts, thefts, murder, adulteries, greed, depravity, deceptive dealings, carousing, mean looks, slander, arrogance, foolishness. All these are vomit from the heart. There is the source of your pollution." The Gospel of the Lord. Good morning, I am Father Joscuti Matthew, and this is Coffee with God. Let us now listen to a short reflection on the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark, chapter 7, verses 1 to 8, 14 and 15, and 21 to 23. Purifying hearts, not just hands. Evangelist Mark, addressing a Roman audience unfamiliar with Jewish customs, clarifies the significance of Jews' emphasis on ritual purifications. He intends to tell his readers how the Jews emphasized the careful performance of ritual washings and demanded strict adherence to them, but they neglected the real meaning of the ritual itself. He calls our attention to be cautious of not falling into similar danger of being unkind and uncharitable in the process of meticulously performing rituals in our religious ceremonies. Similar misinterpretations and obligatory rituals also happen to us. When genuine love leads to true faith, there is no need for the imposition of obligations. For example, the days of obligation in the church. Do we participate in the liturgy on Sundays out of a sense of obligation or out of love for the Lord and the community? If our sole aim is to meet the obligations, we are driven by fear rather than love. When traditions are observed without understanding the spirit of those traditions and customs, they become hollow gestures. The Pharisees were bound by their traditions, and Jesus called them hypocrites. While the Pharisees believed that their ritual purification rites cleansed them from all defilements, Jesus taught them that clean hands are the result of acts of charity. Works of mercy are what purifies your hands. We must be careful not to be enslaved by traditions, especially in our liturgical practices. Holiness isn't about rule keeping, it's about love. Jesus calls us to acts of charity, kindness, and forgiveness. Our hands may be clean outwardly, but are our hearts pure? Let love purify both. Let us remember that God desires our hearts, not just our rituals. May our worship flow from love, transforming us into authentic disciples.